You will drown in eternal night.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to another Mortal Kombat mobile character review. Today we are taking a closer look at Master of Souls Ermac. We will go through all of his special attacks, his X-ray, his basic attacks, his passive and everything else he brings to MK Mobile. Master of Souls Ermac is part of the Outworld class and his passive is called Soul Legion. Starts with +1 bar of power for each Outworld teammate. Master of Souls Ermac has been in the game since its very launch, and also his passive remained the same ever since. In the old store he was obtainable for 325 souls, and now in the new store you can buy him for 250 souls. He is a part of the very basic gold pack for 150 souls, but you also might come across this guy in the Outworld pack for just 200 souls. Back in the old days he was maxed out with level 50 and Fusion 7, but since the level cap was raised with update 1.18, he now is maxed out with level 60 and Fusion X. Ermac's gear piece is the Soul Medallion and it gives you 20% power generation boost, 20% self-heal at the end of special attack 3 or X-ray/fatal blow attack, which goes for Ermac characters only, and 50% reduced power cost on special attack 2. In terms of his feats of strength, he will have to knock out 500 Johnny Cage enemies to unlock his rune. For his victory stances he has to win 750 matches in faction wars. For his taunts he has to win 500 matches in battle mode. For his icons he will have to perform 1500 special 2 attacks. For the backgrounds he has to perform 3000 combo enders. And for his titles he has to perform 2000 special 1 attacks. And now we are going to take a look at the victory stances one by one, starting with victory. Next we have warming up. Third would be the spinning kick. And exclusive for Master of Souls Ermac only, Suction. And on your victory screen it will look like this. Now I'm going to show you all of his backgrounds. Next we have the icons. And finally the titles. Master of Souls Ermac has only one combo ender, but technically he has two strings. So the first one is just pushing the opponent back, And then with the second one there will be a combo ender, and that one knocks the opponent down to the ground. His special 1 attack is called Force Lift, and it has just merely a damage buff tied to it. Most importantly, this one is easy to miss, so if the opponent blocks this attack, it deals almost no damage at all, so definitely make sure that you always use it only when you are sure to connect, and also be aware that this attack is capable of knocking out your opponents. His special 2 attack is called Soul Blast, and it has a snare effect tied to it. This attack deals a lot of damage and also is capable of knocking out your opponents. His X-Ray is called We Are Many, and it has a shield buff tied to it. And since we don't have any MK11 Ermac in the game yet, or other diamonds for that matter, we only have this one X-Ray for all Ermac variations, so if you have seen it once, you will find it on all the other gold characters as well. In terms of the passive, there is not much to show. You just see that he will have starting power as soon as you play him with Outworld teams, but you can easily start with an X-Ray if you give him the right gear or the right teammates. So now it's time to recommend some gear again, and as I already mentioned, the right gear could be the Wrathhammer, so that you can start with an X-Ray if you play him with 2 other Outworld teammates, so he will immediately launch with an X-Ray. And as an armor, I would suggest the Earth Elemental Face Mask. Of course, you also can go with the Storm Hat. This one is mainly there to generate more power, but in this case you would also have some resistance to the buffs, so that is then more my choice to go with here. Because simply when you are facing, for example, MK11 Scorpion in the opponent team and he sets the entire team on fire, then Ermac has at least a little chance to resist that fire, and in that case will not lose his X-Ray. In general, you have to admit that Ermac is best played with block breaking equipment. In this case, I'm just going here for the Rusty Chainsaw, and this one I would choose if I keep in mind that I don't want to play him with his Soul Medallion, just so that I have that reduced power cost on Special 2, but you're absolutely fine to use any kind of block breaker if you choose to go with the Soul Medallion. In case you are using equipment to start with an X-Ray but still want to have him as a fighter, then the block break could come from the Vial of Infinite Blood, so this way you could have the Wrathhammer and still have the block breaker, which means X-Ray plus block breaking basic attacks. Oh, and of course you also would have a chance to inflict bleed on combo enders. But the winner in my book and the best gear piece to play with Master of Souls Ermac is of course his own gear piece, the Soul Medallion. You have increased power generation, and you also have the reduced power costs on special attack too. This gear piece is not only great on Ermac but almost on every other character who wants to play with a strong focus on special too. So this piece of gear is just right for him. One of my personal favorite loadouts would be the Revolver's Shao Kahn's helmet and the Soul Medallion. Here you would also have the higher critical chance on the Shao Kahn's helmet side, plus block breaker from the Revolvers of course, power cost reduction from the Soul Medallion as well as power generation. It's a nice package. When it comes to character recommendations, of course, Mournful Kitana comes to mind first, because she grants 1 bar of power to all Outworld teammates, and when he already has 2 Outworld characters with him, which would be then Kitana plus another Outworlder, he immediately starts with an X-Ray due to her passive, But you could also go for the health route and give Nimble Reptile to that team so that he will just increase the amount of HP he starts with. If you want to increase his attack, then Sun God Kotal Khan is a very sure one to bet on. And with that you also would have another basic gold, which is quite easy to obtain and always makes a great team with Ermac together. To amplify that attack boost even more, you of course can also go with Classic Goro, but keep in mind as soon as you play diamonds with him, you will also face stronger teams. But when we're already going down that route, then of course the best option always has to be Day of the Dead Kitana, because simply when an opponent dies or one of your teammates dies, the entire rest Outworld team will start healing. And that is a massive benefit, there is no way around it, and that already closes the segment of character suggestions. For a basic gold card, Master of Souls Ermac is an incredible character, and he is surprisingly safe because many people have the problem that the special one doesn't connect, but it's actually not that much of a deal, because if you use that first string that pushes the opponent back and that one is unblocked, he will automatically connect with his special one each time he performs it. So there is actually no problem if you just keep that in mind and use it accordingly. Then you have the snare to not let opponents escape your wrath, if you will, and then with the X-ray you apply shield to yourself and the rest of the team, so Ermac makes sure that you're well protected. But now let's get to the pros and cons, and here the first pro, I have to mention the passive. Simply getting a bar of power for each Outworld character is already pretty cool, and then with gear or Mournful Kitana you will immediately have that X-ray right at your disposal, and you can choose to use that X-ray or go for 2 special 2s instead. Both of them work, and then you would still have a special 1 ready. So power, 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 that is all Master of Souls Ermac is about. Then the next great benefit is the snare on special 2. I already mentioned that. Having that character or that opponent trapped in on the battlefield so that you can finish him off with either Master of Souls Ermac or another teammate is always great. And then my third pro is how safe he actually is after using that first string of his combo, leading directly into an unblocked special 1, so that he really can make use of that attack. And this is really crucial because, as I mentioned already, many players have problems with that special 1 attack, but you really need to learn how to use this character properly. Then you will have a lot of fun with his special 1, and there is actually no issue. And let's be real, you don't want to use a special attack on blocking opponents anyway. Then as far as the negatives go, since he's such an old gold card, he only has 1 combo ender, even though that second string, or actually the first string, that without combo ender is very, very safe leading into the special attack. It would be nice to actually have a second combo ender, but that one then also would have to keep these properties intact and not have a second knockdown combo ender or something, because that would ruin it. And yes, of course, it is a negative that the special 1 attack does little to no damage when the special 1 is blocked. That is very unfortunate, especially because it also is not capable of knocking out when blocked. So this criticism definitely belongs here. But then again, just adjust your playstyle a little bit according to Ermac, and then he will absolutely work in your favor. When it comes to a final rating, and you guys know that I have been an Ermac main for many years in this game, for me Master of Souls Ermac is a straight 10 out of 10. Many people might disagree here, and that is absolutely fine, but if I think about one of the greatest Outworld characters, then immediately Master of Souls Ermac is one of the first popping into mind. And of course I am also judging here from a standpoint that he is a basic gold, and for a basic gold he really achieves something amazing. But yeah, with this we reached the end of my Master of Souls Ermac review, and as always I hope that you enjoyed this video and hopefully learned a little bit about this amazing character. So my greatest accomplishment from your side now would be that you would immediately go into Faction Wars, dust off Master of Souls Ermac, and play the hell out of him and enjoy him to the fullest. Thank you for tuning in once again. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. In case you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button twice just to make sure. And if you want to support the channel a little further, please consider joining the Patreon family of KC Mobile Gaming. You can already do that with as little as just $1 a month. And also follow me on social media like Twitter and Facebook. You will find all the necessary information in the description below of every video. If you want to see more content, then why don't you just click on one of those two videos here. Thank you for your support. Have a good one. KC over and out for today.